The Morgan Report with David Morgan. Discover how to build and protect your wealth at themorganreport.com.
David Morgan with the weekly perspective for the week ending 29 August 2025. Well, a lot to report on this week. Start on our Twitter page at SilverGuru22. And by the way, there's a couple of fake sites up there. If it doesn't have the blue check mark and it isn't SilverGuru22, it's not me. All right, so silver broke out of an area that we've wanted to see for some time, almost touching the $40 mark this week. And the bigger news, I would say, is that silver's officially been added to the USGS, the United States Geological Survey's critical mineral list. Washington has now admitted what we've been saying for years. Silver isn't just money. It's essential for national security, energy transition, and the entire digital economy. And right now, moving to almost 40 this month, it's one of the highest monthly closes in years. This is a kind of inflection point that separates a casual observer from the prepared investor. Gold is holding steady, but silver's where the action is. Platinum continues to show strength, and the commodity sector at large is starting to attract capital as money rotates out of U.S. bonds and stocks. If this trend accelerates, and we believe it will, we are going to see a structural revaluation across the board. And that's exactly what I talk about in this issue of the September Morgan Report. It's now live. Inside, I walk members through what shifts are taking place, from conservative plays in the oil and gas sector to aggressive positions selecting mining shares and energy equities as this bull market proceeds. We've been sitting on the sidelines. Now is the time to act. For the cost of a nice dinner out, you can add decades of research, model portfolios tailored to different risk levels, and insights I've shared with hedge fund and family offices. The September issue isn't just timely, it's more than timely. It's a wake-up time. Energy is undervalued and capital flows are starting to change direction. So if you want to stop reacting to headlines and start positioning ahead of the curve, join us at the Morgan Report. Having said that, a couple other ones here. This is a free webinar that we put up recently. Here is the replay. This is all about privacy. Even if you're not inclined to be concerned about your privacy, just watching this webinar, and it's free, will probably perhaps give you a different perspective. This is one I've got from one of my associates. This is the total assets held by the top 0.01%. You can see where we are. There is a huge discrepancy between the haves and have-nots. This is really rather interesting when you study it. This came from Charles Hughes Smith. Shout out to Charles. He does excellent work. I consider him a friend. I'm not sure he considers me the same, but at least a colleague and associate, and he just does excellent stuff. Thank you for that. Eric Young, King Kong, 9888. Always puts up good stuff. I would suggest subscribing to him if you don't on X, but he talks about what's going on with Vietnam. Another shout out on this privacy. And the last one I'll mention in this weekly update is the Silver Institute had a market trend report, key physical silver investment markets, and this was this last month, August 2025. So those in the U.S., I wish you all a great Labor Day. For those not, I wish you a great weekend. And I'll be back next week with another weekly update.
The U.S. government debt is about to cross $37 trillion. That's not a typo. That's trillion with a T. Tariffs are being used to try and even the playing fields. Global supply chains are shifting. Inflation isn't going away. And the value of your dollar? It's quietly being drained while no one is really talking about this. The truth is, we're living through the early stages of a financial reset, whether anyone wants to admit it or not. And if you're still relying on mainstream headlines or financial advisors who just tell you to write it out, you could be blindsided when things really shift. That's where the Morgan Report comes in. For over 25 years, David Morgan has been helping investors cut through the noise. He tracks what actually drives markets, from precious metals and mining stocks to global debt and monetary policy, and show you how to protect and grow your wealth when the system is under stress. This isn't just about gold and silver. It's about having a clear-eyed view of where things are headed and making sure you're not caught off guard. The Morgan Report gives you real research, honest analysis, and strategies you can act on. Even in a world of rising debt, unstable currencies, and economic uncertainty. Go to themorganreport.com today. Download your free report. Get informed, get ahead, and take back control of your financial future. Themorganreport.com. Because $37 trillion in debt won't